everybody, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, with another 10-ish minute review. I don't know if I can really call it that. I'm going to try something different on this show and also going forward. I'm still going to do Indian films because a lot of you in the community hosts have given me some suggestions. I'm having trouble locating some of them. So before I create my list, I have to make sure that I can get them. So I'm gonna try something, and I'm gonna do this because this was recommended to me by several people, uh, loyal viewers, people who comment all the time and give me advice. So I'm gonna start watching. I already have start watching the series Mirzapur, which premiered in 2018. There's been, I think they're on the third season right now. I'm looking at season one. So I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. I've already reached out to somebody who gave me some advice, and I kind of agree with them, but I want to know what you think. On this episode, I've already watched 4 episodes. So I'm going to talk about those 4 episodes. Okay. And then I'm going to start watching the rest of the episodes. So my question to you is there any interest in me talking about each episode after I watch it? Because they're actually, it would be very easy to do. I don't have to put a lot of clips in them, which is time consuming, the editing part of it. These are pretty much, when the thing's over, I can record my thoughts on it, get some thoughts from you, that kind of thing. Or would you prefer a couple of episodes, or maybe, I think there are 8 episodes in this season. Maybe, since I'm doing the 4, do another 4. And then going forward, same thing. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Excuse me, as what I should do. Okay. Single episodes, double episodes, or half a season. So I got to tell you something about this show. It is crazy. Okay. And as I was watching the first 4 episodes, I have to tell you, every time I watch something, I compare it to other things. And this had a Godfather, The Sopranos. If you are familiar with either of those, I'm sure you're familiar. I know you got to be familiar with The Godfather. Sopranos was a big show on HBO. It also has a Shakespearean tragedy to it, at least, and this is the other thing interesting about the way I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to speculate on some stuff, not having seen the later episodes that you guys have all probably seen. So I want to know if I'm right. Excuse me, I got a little cough today. So this is the story of different groups of people. Um, and it was, in fact, if you see my notes here, these are all the groups of people. Okay. And because I couldn't figure out who was with who, as they started to move along in the episodes, I started to figure it out. So you've got the Dawn, the king of Mirzapur, who is Arkanda, and he's played by Pankaj Tripathi. Which, okay, so the name of the bad guy, excuse me, the name of the people who run Mirzapur is Tripathi, and the actor's name is Pankaj Tripathi. And there's another Tripathi in it too. She's one of the daughters. Is she related? Oh, Shweta Tripathi. She plays Golu. Is she related to Pankaj? And then you've got, okay, his son Mona, who's played by Divyenda Sharma. I don't have to tell you who's playing. You guys know. His wife Beena, his father. Now I do have a question about the father. He's the guy in the wheelchair, and there was a flashback to when, in the, I think it's the second episode, where he gets paralyzed. Is because different actors play the younger characters in that flashback. But is the father the same actor? Because he looked an awful lot like the guy in the flashback. So let me know that in the comment section. Also, they've got his bodyguard, Magbul, who, again, in a flashback, you find out why he is beholden to Akanda. And then you've got Raja, the servant. who comes into play. Okay, so that's the first set of characters. Now you've got a lawyer. What was his name? It wasn't Roddy. What the heck was his name? I can't remember his name. I remember his last name was it was Pondy or Ponty. So he's a lawyer, an honest lawyer, because during the show they try to bribe him, and he pulls a gun on the guy actually. And then you've got the sons, Ali Fazal, who plays Guido, which sounds an awful lot like Guido, which is an Italian mob name. Okay, who's a muscle guy. Then you've got Bablu, another son, played by Vikrant Massey. Now, the reason why I mentioned him, I just saw 12 Fail with him, and he was amazing in that. And he's good in this. Now, my prediction is, because he reminds me, if you've seen The Godfather, Al Pacino played Michael Corleone, and innocent in the beginning, right? Even the same haircut, by the way. And then becomes the criminal mastermind. And the way they're playing Bablu in the first 4 episodes, smart guy, not really into the gangster stuff per se, like the brother is, like Gudo is, or Gudu. But I got a feeling he's gonna be. Okay, that's my prediction. Then you've got their sister, also these are all the lawyers' kids, Dimpy. Now, I don't know who this actress is. I don't know how old she is. So I don't know how creepy this is going to sound. That girl is stunning. She was beautiful. And then you've got the mother, Sheba, who not bad with a gun, as we find out. Now, the other family, you've got a cop who's on the take from the Dawn, but he's got 2 daughters, Sweetie and Golu. Now, Sweetie likes Gudu, but Muna likes Sweetie. So they're they're all interconnected. It's just awesome. Golu is a bookworm who you get introduced as she's in the library playing with herself. Okay, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Crazy. Then you've got the gang. Now, the gang, Muna's gang is a bunch of, I don't know who they are, a bunch of young guys, but one of his name's Compounder. I think I recognize him. I think he was in Stree. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that guy was in Stree. But he's the drug dealer. So okay, before I get into the plot, and again, I wrote so much stuff down. Okay, so this is unlike any Indian film I've seen. First of all, the language, the drug use, the sex, and there's a lot of sex in this, but I have to say something about the sex. And I guess this is just an Indian thing. First of all, it's much more than you normally see in any of these movies, at least the ones I've seen. But all the women are always, at least what they show, they're always fully clothed. So you don't really see anything, any skin anyway. But the scenes are crazy. There was one scene that looked like she was riding a bike when she was. Well, I'll get into that. I don't want to spoil it. So you're introduced in the. So I'm introduced to this dynamic in the first episode, right? And every group is kind of introduced, and then it's slowly revealed who is connected to who. But they intersect because one of the first scenes in the movie is Muna, who's a screw up, but he's the guy that's eventually going to take over the business. But he's a drug addict, so him and his buddies are out shooting guns, and they're at somebody's wedding, and they inadvertently shoot a guy right through the eye, the groom, and it's like it almost played for laughs, right? But the father of the groom hires this lawyer to go after the kid who did the killing. Well, the kid threatens the lawyer, and the 2 sons now show up. And it's a great scene with the whole family. But that's where there's this like And I'm mixing the 4 episodes together because I can't separate them because everything's jumbling in my head. Um, so so there's a big confrontation where the mother gets hold of a gun and starts firing away, shoots a guy's ear off. The big brawny guy, Gudu, starts pounding on Muna, almost to the point where he's going to kill him. And the father stops him. So now the big boss who finds out about this, right, wants to see the sons, not the lawyer, not the father. The sons go there, and he basically offers them a job, which of course ticks off Muna. So you can see what's going on there. Um, so I'm trying to, it's all jumbling together as I look at this. So now they're going to work for him, and the one brother, Bulby, is a little apprehensive to do this, but he thinks it's the only way we can keep the family safe. But the other brother, Gudo, he kind of likes it because it shows respect, and he wants that kind of respect. But there's, I'm trying. This is just, it was just crazy. And I was so into it too that I'm trying to take notes as I'm going. Like there's a scene with a Dawn, and I really like the actor, Pankaj Tripathi. He doesn't do anything like over the top, at least not yet. He's a very cool customer, even under stress. But there's one scene where he sits down in a chair like a throne, and he's got antlers behind him. And that's a common theme in this movie too, is predators, because they keep showing the TV with wild animals, and they're always predators. And there's a real funny sex scene where it was episode 3. I think it was 3 or 4. It might have been 4. Um, which was really funny, which I'll get to. I'll get to a second anyway. But then you find out the Dawn, apparently he's got a new wife, and she is what's her name? Her name is, I don't know why I'm giving you names. Bina. But there's a scene where they're having sex, and she's like, "You got to try harder. You got to try harder." And apparently he's impotent, or he can't get it up. So that's a reoccurring theme in this film with her. Um, but the film, right, the series right now is the journey of the two brothers as they get farther and farther into the Mirzapur Empire. And then they flash back and show you how the dawn of what was it, June Par, I think it was. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Used to work for for the father, Akanda. And they flash back to a scene where someone tried to assassinate him, his father, who was the Dawn, and his crew, including Magbul and everybody with swords. A great scene too. And forgive us, maybe I'm better off doing one episode at a time because I'm jumbling everything together. But there was so much happening in the show. So then you find out they kill all the assassins, and then and they kill Thakur, who was the people that sent the assassins, and it's a gruesome scene. I mean, boom, right through the head. They're driving cars, and a woman gets sniped right through the eye. But then they announce we're in charge of Mirzapur now, and my son is going to be in line, and then this person's going to be in line, but not his right hand man, Roddy, I think his name was, and Don Roddy. So at first he's, you could tell he's upset about it, but he puts on a big act. Well, now another scene, he goes after him, and that's where you realize what the rift was between them. And the father could have killed him, and he said, "No, leave here. You take John Parr or whatever it's called. Never come back here. Never even try." And then on the way out, the son, who is now the Dawn in present time, slices him right across the chest. And in the process of this, Magpool's mother was going to get shot, and it was blocked by the Don's father in the flashback. It's just too much. And that's how he got paralyzed. Okay. Um, I will say there's a lot of humor in this because there was a scene where they okay, now they're working for the Dawn, so they've got this great motorcycle, and they think they're big gangsters now, and they go to get potato cakes, and they don't pay, and this little kid is a waiter, and he's really giving them a hard time, and they just run off on him. Well, they come back to the same place with two girls, and they're trying to be big shots. And the kid is like mouthing off to them, gives them a bill that includes the pancakes, the potato things they didn't pay for. It's a really funny scene, and it's played really, really well. And there's another scene at the end of one episode. They show the Don's wife, Bina, having sex with somebody, right? And it was right after a scene she had with Muna. So of course the implication is she's screwing around with Muna because he's a sex addict too. He's the opposite of the father. And he does this weird countdown thing too. That's kind of interesting when he has sex. So they end with that, and she's like, "Oh, you go so much longer than my husband." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh my god, she's screwing the son." Now they come back the next episode, it's cliffhanger, right? And it ends up it's the servant Raji, which I was like, "What?" And then the funniest thing was, okay, so they're going at it, and she's all hot and bothered. And she's like, "Oh my god, oh," and he's going, I'm gonna go, man, I'm gonna go." And she's going, going, going. Right now, they're done. She flips over on her back, fully clothed, by the way, and he goes to kind of snuggle, and she goes, "What are you doing? Don't touch me. Go get dinner ready." And then they show a lion scrolling on the TV. It says the lioness gets rid of the lion when she's done with him. So it was just a reflection of that. It was funny. It was really funny. And she's good. I really like her. And there's also something to do. There's a gun in the drawer. I think it was the gun from the flashback. And she told the father that they could never find it, so they had to give him a different gun. Speaking of guns, again, there was another scene where they sell these their whole businesses of guns. They sell these like crappy homemade guns, short money, untraceable. And a guy blew his hand off, so he goes to the Don and says, "Look, I bought this. It blew up my hand. What can we do about it?" He goes, "Well, it blew up your hand. Wait, let's try another one." He goes, "Shoot this one." And the guy's like, "No, no," because he blew off his hand. He goes, "No, no, go ahead, just try it." He blows off his other hand. And the Don's just sitting there, huh? That was defective too. We're going to have to do something about that. Uh, Give him some money for the hospital. I thought that was funny too. Um, so, oh yeah, there was a scene. There was a scene in the episode 3. That's where the flashback was. Episode 3, some guy gets an iron against his face and pulls it back in the skin. I mean, this stuff, we talk. I talked about Animal, how violent Animal was. This one, oh my god! But it's good. It's like it's good. I like it. I really like this show. Um, Colleen Baya is the Dawn. See, they go by different names. I don't really understand that because his name is a Condon, right? A Condon, but everyone calls him Colleen Baya, right? So I just didn't quite get that. Um, so now episode 4, virginity. Well, I thought that was referring to Raja, but it's not. Okay, the two brothers, right? Gudu and Bulby have now kind of ingratiated themselves with the Dawn. So now they are going to. Oh, I missed a huge plot thing. There was an assassination attempt on the Dawn and the Dawn's son by Roddy, the guy that used to work for him, who's running Jeanpur or whatever it's called. I don't know the name of it, so I know I'm screwing it up. So, okay, so that happened. Now they caught two of the guys that tried to kill him, right? And one of the guys they hung. The other guy is not referred to again till this 4th episode. So he brings them to this factory or whatever, and there's the guy all tied up. And they say to Gudu and Bulby, all right, have you ever killed anybody? No. Well, now they got to kill this guy to go to the next step to prove their loyalty. And that scene's done really well because Bulby, you can see it on his face. He doesn't want to do this. And he fumbles a little bit. The other guy fumbles too. He drops the clip out of the gun. But he's also, I don't know, Compounder gave him some pills. They got to be steroids because he's got a little edge to him now. And he puts one shot in the guy in the leg. And the guy's crawling away from him saying, please don't do this. Please, you don't know me. And he shoots him again. And he's not dead yet. Well, now he flips over and he just starts firing away at him. And it was still had some humor in it because the other brother is throwing up. He's bent over, throwing up of what's going on. Okay, so now, and this is how it ends. And I don't know if every one of these ends with a cliffhanger, but this one definitely does. So now they have to dispose of the body, right? So they've got a truck with carpets in it, and and again, they're not very smart. There are feet sticking out the carpet of the guy they killed. Bulby's in the back. Gudu's driving. They get stopped by a policeman. And he's saying, hey, you got to hide the body. You got to hide the body. He's yelling on the back of the truck. So Bulby's trying to hide the body. Now there's blood everywhere. Now he starts, and again, this is the humor of the show too. He starts wiping the blood with his hands. And he's just getting blood everywhere. So now the cop wants to look at the back of the truck. So the brother takes him to the back of the truck. And then they show the inside, and he's cleaning, trying to hide it. And he's getting closer to opening the truck. Now, Gudu pulls the gun out, points the gun at the back of his head. That's where the episode ended. That's where I've left it. Okay, so I haven't watched it yet. So I can't believe he's just going to kill this cop because that seems to going to be some problems. So I want to see how they're going to get out of that, especially with the blood everywhere. But I love this show. It's so different, and the guy playing Muna, he's good because he's you can see what's happening there too because they're already talking about taking the father out so he gets control. So you know, but he's also he's a bully, and it comes into play in college because they're college age. But it's just that's why I mean about Shakespearean. You got the father, you got the son, you got the son, and the father too. The father, I'm getting a feeling that he knows more of what's going on around him than they are leading on. And I could be wrong about that, but I'm getting that feeling. So I want to understand that. Um, and the way the wife, the stepmother, looked at Muna, I got a funny feeling they're gonna hook up too. Um, but okay, that I didn't do this like I wanted to do it because there was just so much going on. But I really like this. I like all the performances, and I recognize some of the actors, and I've seen them in other stuff, but not a lot of them, and they're all very good. I'm also there's not a lot of they don't just throw in a lot of musical numbers, so this is pretty. I would call it pretty gritty. Um, but I'm invested in this, and I cannot wait to watch the next 4 episodes. So let me know what you guys think about the show. Give me a hint if I'm right in my what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then let me know if you want me to do 1 episode or 2. I'm not going to do more than 2. There's too much information and they all get jumbled together. If I stick to 1 or 2 episodes, it'll be much easier to kind of do a breakdown of each episode. So let me know 1 per show, 2 per show. They're not a lot of episodes, so it's no big deal if you want me to do 1. But I'll do whatever you guys want, and we'll see what kind of reaction I get. I know I did a horrible job of talking about it, but I really do like this show, and I cannot wait to see what happens to the cop in the back of that truck. Okay, so I'm going to compile my list for movies. A lot of you liked my fauna review. Some of you thought I was too generous with my stars. I admit it was a little bit of a mercy stars because you know what a big Amir Khan fan I am. I want to just say again, some of the movies you guys want me to watch, I'm really having trouble tracking them down. Sarafosh, I think, was the one. That one is that got picked by probably 70% of you for an Amir Khan film. And Earth, 1947 Earth. Those are two movies that a lot of you want me to watch. I can't find them. So I don't know what to do about that unless you guys have any suggestions. Um, but I'll compile that list and I'll still be watching those movies too. But I want to get through this show because I freaking love it. Because I'm telling you, it's just it's so different. It is so different. And I've talked, Wolverina Pagan's a big fan of this show, and she gave me a suggestion for another show too, um, with Saif Ali Khan. What the hell's the name of it? She told me what the name of it. Sacred Games. Um, I'm thinking about watching that after I watch this. Well, let me know your thoughts on that. Is that as good as this? Because this is good, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. So, thank you for the recommendation. I really do appreciate it. I wish I did a better job on this. I really wanted to do well, but everything's just jumbling together because how much I love this show, and there was just so much going on. So that's it. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll talk to you soon with another breakdown of Mirzapur.